Melania Trump is in Africa on her first trip unaccompanied by her husband. A First Lady's first solo trip abroad is always fraught with controversy. Conservatives memorably lambasted Michelle Obama for her first solo visit to Mexico for her alleged support of illegal alien amnesty. And while most outlets are reporting that the trip has been proceeding without any major gaffe, there is still something off about the visit, leaving the few interested in following it closely confused. But that's become customary with Melania. When the administration announced Melania's first solo trip would be to Africa, the world collectively scratched its head. Africa? Why are we having all these people from whole countries come here, Africa? On the subject of Melania's safari excursion, Tom Hart says it's jarring when viewed in the context of President Trump's attitude towards Africa. And he's not wrong. While we're being treated to PR dream photos of the First Lady flanked by impoverished children like a prep school graduate on gap year, Trump's generalizations and tweets about the continent still hang in the air. Such a disparity between the interests of the East Wing and the policies of the West Wing truly is abnormal. But most things with Melania are abnormal. Many people have taken to an image of Melania Trump as a freedom fighter on the inside, silently protesting her husband's many blunders. Those people have taken this trip and ran with it, and it's not hard to see why. In recent budget proposals, the president has moved to slash foreign aid to the continent by up to 30%. That's a proposed $170 million cut to maternal and childcare assistance. But one of Melania's first stops in Ghana was a baby weighing program, a working example of the help that very money provides. This isn't the first time the First Lady's actions have seemed entirely paradoxical when placed aside those of the president. Perhaps one of Donald's most notorious traits is his penchant for aggressive, often bullying interactions with individuals online. But when it came time for the East Wing to announce the First Lady's cause, Be Best once again confused anyone paying attention. A program focusing on kindness and an end to cyberbullying? When pressed about the contradiction, Melania acknowledged concerns, but stated that other people's skepticism would not keep her from doing what she knows is right. But still, what exactly does she know to be right? And how far does her sense of virtue go? It can't be that far to, despite time and time again quietly contradicting his actions, still stand by him and denounce any claims of an unhappy marriage. In her memoir, the president's wife of 13 years claims that her success, prowess at business, and tenacity were the reasons for their divorce. In our marriage, there couldn't be two stars, so one of us had to go. On a separate occasion, she was quoted as saying about Melania, she can't talk, she can't give a speech, she doesn't go to events, she doesn't seem to want to be involved. Ivanka clearly cast Melania as a meek and subservient character, less a partner than an accessory to the president. Regardless if it is true, it is a narrative we see continue to play out, a narrative many are quick to pick up on. Because while the mythos of her quiet protest will continue to snowball in the eyes of its believers, her explicit denial of any lack of loyalty to her husband presents a clear contradiction. The New York Times called Melania Trump a Rorschach test of Louboutin, supposing that onlookers only see in her what they already believe about her husband. To those who support Trump, she is his helpful partner, the wife any wife should aspire to be, while others paint her as a captive stuck in the tower guarded by the angry dragon. Hashtag MeToo Melania. Still others consider her just as guilty as her husband, one of the good immigrants who benefits from Trump's ideology so does not challenge it. But this mythology around Melania is explicitly because of her steadfast silence in the press. She stands as a conduit for individual belief systems exactly because she continues to refuse to be a part of the conversation. She is an almost empty canvas onto which we can project our beliefs and emotions about the president, and we do. Perhaps because, on many levels, she is one of the few things that humanizes him. There's something uncomfortable, though, about assuming the contents of a person's mind and heart from very few, very brief public appearances. While Melania may have refused to join her husband publicly following the grabbing debacle to help the PR visual, she did rejoin him eventually, as well as publicly accept his apology. We cannot put words or thoughts into the mouth or mind of the First Lady to raise her up as some undercover hero. I'm very strong. People, they don't really know me, she has said. People think and talk about me like, oh Melania, oh poor Melania. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. Well, Melania, I don't. Thank you for watching Prompt. Be sure to subscribe to stay updated with our newest videos.
Recently, President Trump met with Vladimir Putin in Helsinki, Finland to finally put those nasty Russian collusion rumors to rest. Best of all, Trump finally did something about Putin invading Ukraine and interfering with our elections. He called Putin a great guy and said that the US is at fault too. Great work, Trump. Hey guys, I'm Whitney Van Lanningham, and today we're gonna look at a brief history of Trump and his literal only friend, Vladimir Putin. In Helsinki, Putin took the mic first to reassure us that the Cold War was in the past, baby. It's all about trust this time around, and that's why you can rest easy at night knowing that nothing happened with the 2016 election. To make a 46-minute press conference short, Putin comes out and says that he's really bummed out that America can't just move on from the little 44-year spat they had after World War II, and that he's trying really hard to be cool this time around. There was no collusion, there never will be collusion, and frankly, he's a little hurt that you'd even ask. That's when President Trump says, "I hold both countries responsible. I think that the United States has been foolish. I think that we've all been foolish. We should have had this dialogue a long time ago. A long time. Frankly, before I got to office." Of course, the media exploded, giving 45 every opportunity to denounce Russia. But Trump doubled down, saying, "All I can do is ask the question. My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be, but I really want to see the server, but I have confidence in both parties." And despite spending hours literally defending Russia, shitting on the US, and repeatedly claiming they didn't interfere with the election, when Trump got back to the US, he was all like, "Oh, did I say they would or wouldn't interfere? Just go with the one that makes me look good." That's not a direct quote, but like, you didn't know that till I just told you, and honestly, it's pretty close. And here's the thing, Trump has been up Putin's butt since the first time he praised him in that Larry King interview back in 2007. In fact, why don't we take a trip down memory lane and revisit all the times Donald Trump verbally sucked Putin's dick in his lead up to the presidency? While discussing his hatred for President Bush with Larry King, he said, "Look at Putin, what he's doing with Russia. I mean, you know what's going on over there. I mean, this guy has done, whether you like him or don't like him, he's doing a great job in rebuilding the image of Russia and also rebuilding Russia, period." I don't know about you, but that sounds an awful lot like Make Russia Great Again to me. Shortly after, Trump began accepting Russian investment money for the Trump International Hotel and Tower in Canada, which is fine if you're just a business guy selling shitty steaks. Where I have a problem is when you stop talking about real estate with David Letterman on late night television and started working with Russia to sow discord in the US political system. In 2014, Putin sent Trump a present while Trump was at the Miss Universe pageant in Moscow, because that's a thing that the leader of our country used to do for funsies. During his speech at the Conservative Political Action Conference, Trump called Obama weak and pathetic for allowing other countries to disrespect America, and in the same breath called Putin smart and thanked him for treating him so great. This was in response to Russian incursion in Ukraine following its annexation of Crimea. So Trump has been praising Putin for the last 4 years and at least 2 years before his official announcement to run for president. Trump continued to sing Putin's praises in 2014, saying, "Putin has become a big hero in Russia with an all-time high popularity. Obama, on the other hand, has fallen to his lowest ever numbers. Sad." Then he tweeted, "I believe Putin will continue to rebuild the Russian Empire. He has zero respect for Obama or the US. Like, come on, man, it's getting embarrassing." Then 2016 hit us like a brick in the face, and the Russian government began using state-funded media outlets to talk shit about Hillary Clinton nonstop, spread false news stories around various social media platforms, and ran a sophisticated information war against the US public. Putin wanted Trump to win for this exact reason. In fact, it's actually literally outlined in a plan written in a book from 1997 that all Russian military and intelligence officers are required to read. That's true, guys. So what can you do to stop Trump and Putin from moving forward from this summit as friends in world domination? You can keep drawing super offensive cartoons in the New York Times implying that they're gay, or you can stop forcing me to bleach my eyeballs and vote Democrat in the 2018 midterm elections. I know things are f***ed up, but thanks for watching Prompt, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes just like this every week.
Sarah Sanders might be on her way out, so we decided to take a look at her terrible track record of being a goddamn dirty liar. I'm Iffy, and we're calling BS on Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Here's a quick breakdown of some big old lies from the Queen Bee. S. On June 29, 2017, when a CBS reporter asked whether Trump's tweets created a dangerous atmosphere, Sanders responded, "The president in no way, form, or fashion has ever promoted or encouraged violence. If anything, quite the contrary." And yet, Trump is on record encouraging violence. Most notably, in February 2016, Trump told a rally in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, "If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously, just knock the hell. I promise you I will pay for the legal fees." That was a lie. PolitiFact found 8 more instances of Trump promoting violence between August 2015 and March 2016. And then just a few days after Sarah Sanders said Trump wasn't violent at all, he tweeted a gif of him violently body slamming an anthropomorphic CNN. Or take October 2nd, 2017, when facing questions about gun control after the Las Vegas massacre, Sanders said, "I think if you look at Chicago, where you had over 4,000 victims of gun-related crimes last year, they have the strictest strictest gun laws in the country. Trump himself said the exact same thing 1 year earlier in the debate with Clinton. So I wonder where she got that. While it's true that Chicago leads the nation in gun violence, when it comes to whether Chicago has the strictest gun laws in the country, PolitiFact gave them the coveted pants on fire rating. In 2010 and 2012, two of Chicago's strict gun laws banning handguns and concealed carry weapons were repealed, leaving Chicago with less autonomy in restricting concealed carry than New York, Los Angeles, or San Francisco. Plus, Chicago is the kind of an obvious example of why gun control is important. Many of the guns used in Chicago come from neighboring states where gun laws are lax. So not only is it a lie, but it's intentionally misleading and proves the opposite point. Another case, on November 2nd of 2017, Sanders denied that Trump had ever called the US justice system a joke. This was just hours after Trump said in reference to the justice system, what we have right now is a joke. It's a laughing stock. Or in February 20th of 2018, Sanders said the president has not said that Russia didn't meddle. In fact, the New York Times found 8 instances where Trump tried to pivot the blame away from Russia. Most recently, in November 2017, Trump said, "Every time Putin sees me, he says, I didn't do that. And I really believe that when he tells me that, he means it." Of course you'd believe that because that's the only reason you're president right now. Sanders might want to get a job at Wetzel's Pretzels when she's done with the White House, considering how much she bends the truth. Sorry, Wetzel's, didn't mean to throw that shade at you. In one exchange, she was asked why Trump keeps saying the US is the highest taxed nation in the world. She replied, "We are the highest tax, corporate tax in the developed economy. That is a fact." The reporter replied, "That's not what the president said." Sanders replied, "That's what he's talking about." So it doesn't seem to matter what he's actually saying as long as Sanders can twist it into being kind of true, which by the way it isn't. The United Arab Emirates has a much higher corporate tax rate. I mean, she might as well become a Kanye stan the way that she's like, "Nah, this is what they really mean. I mean, Cosby innocent, that was more saying like he's innocent of being human, right?" Sanders is also an expert at deflection. In the aftermath of the grab them by the pussy tape, Jake Tapper asked Sanders whether Trump would apologize to any of the women he'd assaulted. Sanders, lightning fast, responded, "Has Hillary Clinton apologized to the 4 American lives that were lost in Benghazi? Are we seriously still bringing up Benghazi?" Because that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about Benghazi the whole time. This isn't about grab them by the pussy. He actually meant grab them by the Benghazi. Deflection takes many forms. In press conferences, Sanders often avoids questions by calling them inappropriate, by saying she doesn't know the answer but will find out, by claiming she hasn't spoken with Trump about the matter, or by telling a joke about her kids. So has Sanders been on the record as lying? Yes, many times. And being a truly skilled liar involves more than just lying. It involves twisting, deflecting, stalling, and any number of other tactics. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is good at her job and definitely, unequivocally, pants on fire, a liar. What can we do about it? Keep calling her out on social media, to your friends, to your parents. Make sure when you hear someone repeating a Trump talking point that is blatantly untrue, call it out as a lie that it is. Because when your entire world is built on lies, it can't stand up to the truth. That's why we're calling BS on Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We hope your exit is swift and satisfying. And quit lying. It's bad for your health. Thanks for watching Prompt. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos every week.